Hello, my name's Vic Gilgis, and what I'm going to try and help you with today is to do with happiness. I'm going to talk about reasons to be happy. Um, I'm going to hope make the point that we don't need reasons to be happy because we already have that inside of us. So you could say that's unreasonable happiness. Um, what is happiness? Well, there's lots of definitions. Um, some people just say it's poor compared to say joy, but I'm just using happiness as a kind of a general term. My view, there's definitions like contentment and being at peace, etc., etc. I would say it is a feeling that, and you just you could put words to it, but you know it because it's just an okay feeling that things are right. And again, that's words, but it is just a feeling. Any useful songs? I always talk about songs, and um, the what comes to mind is the Ken Dodd number, Happiness, the greatest gift that I possess. Um, it is a gift that we all have. It's not a thing that you can learn. You don't have to learn it because it's there. Other people haven't got it more than you. I think in the Ken Dodd song it says something like, "I'm glad that I've been blessed with more than my share of happiness." That is wrong. We are all gifted with inside with our happiness quotient or ability to be happy. Um, I say it's an inside job because we tend to think it's an outside job. So we tend to think that the outside world, our circumstances, particular events, particular situations, money or what have you, can make us happy. They do make us happy, obviously, but they are not permanent. They come and go. So it's nice to have them, but that. In fact, that is the destroyer of happiness. Is that when we've not got those particular things, we think we're unhappy, and it is a mind thing. That's why it's an inside job. Um, you should be careful about what you wish for here, because often we say, "Oh, I wish this could happen." I remember when I was a young man, we were saying. We'll get our initial qualifications at night class, saying that if we just got this particular qualification, we'd be made. And when we got it, we was very happy. But soon we were on to, well, what is the next qualification? And what we had looked a bit inferior because we were pursuing something that was better. And I found out that the hard way, and a lot of people do, is that that's like an addiction, is that there's, enough is never enough, because when you've got enough, you want more. Um, in terms of what you wish for, little story. I've got to be careful what I say here. When I was a young teenager, all I really wanted was to meet a woman who would cook me chicken and chips and was also a nymphomaniac. Sorry, I don't wish to be rude, but that was an actual thought of mine at one time. And one day I was lucky enough to meet a woman like that. And she did actually say to me, "If you take me home, I will cook you chicken and chips." And I thought, right, you're on. And I was so lucky because in actual fact she turned out to be an nymphomaniac, and that was delightful. But I will say now that there came a time when I'd had enough of chicken and chips, and quite honestly, and I'd had enough of the other. I was just pleased to have a cup of tea, and I wanted to get away from that relationship as soon as possible. So we are happy. It is thoughts that make us unhappy. What I mean by that is that in the mind there is always a gap between where you are now and where your mind thinks you should be, and that is called ego, and it's your conditioning, what people tell you should be the situation or could be the situation, and because you're not in that particular situation, you can be unhappy because you're not where you think you should be. And that is the trick that the mind does, that and we don't notice that. We all of a sudden start being fretful about things, and it is because we are striving to be, and there's nothing wrong in striving to be, don't get me wrong, but if you're not basically content in where you are, then you're never going to be content, because there'll always be something that you think externally that you need. So that can destroy happiness. What can help? Again, in another podcast, I've said grace. Sometimes just kind of being with yourself, being content, having a cup of tea, you're quite happy. Portals to this is being in the present, being in the now, instead of wanting to be somewhere else. That when you're in the now and just in the environment, how can I put it, just in the present moment where you can just be settled and know that what is with you is quite fine. Not really thinking about, when you look at what's around you, how it should be, or even looking at the labels of things. Oh, that's a nice tree, or that's an ugly tree. And I suppose that's why mindfulness is nice, that you can, in proper mindfulness, you can just enjoy what is in front of you without passing judgment on things. You can just appreciate breathing and being alive. And I've also mentioned in previous podcasts, being on purpose. That when you are doing what you, I shouldn't say this, but meant to do, when you're on purpose, when you're enthusiastic about stuff, then you're quite happy. That is lovely. So you don't need reasons to be happy, because we have got it within us to be happy. And in other words, our authenticness is within us. It's just like tapping into it, basically. And we don't tap into it when we're looking for externals to make us happy, although in the moment they can make us happy. But they are not constant. What is constant is what is always there within you, which is beautiful, which is nice to take time out to appreciate that, and just notice that you're alive, just to check into yourself and just know, well, thank God I'm alive. Thank you very much. And thank you for listening. I hope that's been of some help. Thank you.